David Esrati. I'm a candidate for Congress in Ohio 10, which is all of Montgomery County, all of Greene County, and parts of Clark County. Anyway, we're here to talk about the abortion ruling that came out on Friday. Legal terms, it's Dobbs versus Jackson's Women's Health. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you've seen 100,000 memes by now on Facebook or wherever else you get your social media complaining about this. But complaining is not what's going to help. You can go out and protest. Yeah, that might make you feel good, but that's not going to help at this point. What you need to do is work really hard to get Democrats elected in both a 60-vote majority in the Senate and as many as you can get in the House. Because what's going to happen is we're going to have to straighten out a Supreme Court that was wrecked by the Republicans and Donald Trump. It's not hard to understand how this happened. We had a minority when they decided to ignore the nomination of Merrick Garland, and we got Kavanaugh, and then it's been downhill from there. The Trump nominees, Amy Coney Barrett at the last minute for Ruth Bader Ginsburg, bad swap, and shouldn't have happened because, no, there was an election coming up. So what is it? Plus, over one after another told everybody they believed in stare decisis, which is as it is decided. That is the way law works in this country, is we have cases, we cite them, pass law, and that's what we base future law on. So the problem is this idea of originalism, which apparently a few of our judges think is just the only way to interpret the Constitution. If that's the case, women, you won't be voting by the time November rolls around. And, oh, yeah, Clarence, won't be legal for you to marry a white woman. And, oh, and by the way, all black votes will be counted at 3/5 of a man, if counted at all. Congress has been, doing their normal thing, but what needs to happen right now is we need to start taking a serious look at what this Supreme Court is really trying to do. Because with the ruling on Thursday, where they overruled the state's rights to control where and how a gun can be carried, mostly concerning the state of New York, but basically could be everywhere, they're saying it's okay for every American to run around with a gun like it's the Old West. Because really, I think what their goal is to start a shooting war between Americans so that the right will be the right. They took a big hit during COVID with a bunch of them in denial of, the virus, so a lot of them died, so then this is how they're going to replenish their forces. I'm sorry, civil war is not an option. In fact, war is not an option. In fact, taking the rights away from women to decide how to choose with their body is not an option either. Abortion law was settled 50 years ago. Now, that's what they said when they were talking to people in Congress. Oh yeah, I believe in stare decisis. Okay. If you lie to Congress, or if you lie, that's grounds for being fired. Happens to people if they say, hey, your employer asks you a question. Have you ever been convicted of a crime? Oh no, I've never been convicted of a crime. Then you find out they're an embezzler and they're your new bookkeeper. Yeah, you have a right to fire them when you find that out. We basically have a bunch of people on the Supreme Court who lied to get there. And one of them, his wife, she was even trying to overthrow the government on January 6th. That's Clarence Thomas and his wife, Jenny. So, what are we going to do about it? Well, that's the beauty of it. Jamil Bowie, who's an opinion columnist for the New York Times, wrote an article about how to discipline a rogue Supreme Court. And, Congress can impeach and remove justices. And if there was a time to do it, it would be now. That decision, that changing decided law, makes everything in this country kind of throws it up into the nether. We don't know what's going to happen next. For instance, in Ohio, we've had the Republican-led redistricting commission tell the Ohio Supreme Court, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, but 6 times, basically, screw you, and in contempt, refuse to provide maps that adhere to a law that was passed by the voters. Nobody's in prison yet. Why not? You tell me. 4 justices are sitting there letting people get away with things. In fact, I want to posit this to you. I believe that this country has become a country only for 2 classes of people, politicians and lawyers. Oh, three sets of people. The uber rich. I mean, the super wealthy who can buy politicians, who can buy their way out of any crime, and lawyers. You need a case of lawyers gone rogue? I can give you lawyers gone rogue. I mean, Ginny Thomas is one, and Clarence along with it. He forgot to mention something that he should have recused himself on. We have a real beginnings of an aristocracy between the rich, the political class, and the legal class. And it needs to stop. If we want to see an America of the people, for the people, by the people, we need to toss these people out who have bought into this Trump insanity of, no, elections are fixed and rigged. Oh, wait a second now. In Dayton, Ohio, the FBI didn't tell you that Joey Williams was a criminal and couldn't sit in public office, but they let him run for office again. They'd already caught him red-handed, and for 3 years they turned him into a confidential informant. Same stuff. If we can't trust our federal government to tell us the truth that a politician was caught red-handed in office and throw him out of office, instead they let him run for re-election with an agreement to step down, we've got a real problem. Our federal government can't be trusted. Our Supreme Court can't be trusted. They lied to get their jobs. And our Congress can't be just trusted either, because here they are doing nothing about this. When you swear an oath to uphold the Constitution, it includes all of the amendments, includes all the laws of this country. And one of them was that women have the right to choose whether to carry a baby to term. And let's be clear. A baby is a living, breathing, sentient thing that can survive on its own, not a collection of cells. Yet that's what they're doing now. They're banning a zygote, the killing of a zygote, which isn't something that's alive yet. It can't survive at up to 12 weeks, even 16 weeks. So let's be clear. The Supreme Court is riling up America to take up arms to overthrow our government, and our government isn't doing anything about it. So what can you do? I'm telling you right now, the solution is in the ballot box if we make it to November. It's vote all of these people out. Every single one of them that has allowed this travesty to stand needs to go. Mike Turner, gone. Rob Portman, he's already given up. He's out of here. But don't ever think about electing anybody but Tim Ryan to be the senator in Ohio. You need to work really hard to take back our country. And it's not about, if it was about the babies, trust me, they wouldn't be getting shot left and right in schools. They wouldn't be dying at a higher rate than in any other industrialized country. We'd have paid for prenatal care. Birth would be covered under health insurance. It shouldn't put you into debt to have a child. We need Americans to be born here. If you're worried about the border wall, start worrying about having child care for people so they can work and survive and support their children. Instead, we're worried about spending billions of dollars on hardening schools when the simple answer is put the guns of war back into the armories. Let's get straight here, people. our priorities are mixed up and we're not doing our job. I'm David Esrati. I appreciate you watching. I'd love to hear questions. I'd love to, actually respond to you live in real time. I do this every day at 4 because Congressman Mike Turner's never had a live, a town hall, has never done a live stream. He doesn't want to talk to you. He wants to talk to the military-industrial complex that funds his campaigns. So, not seeing any questions, not seeing anything else. We'll be back here tomorrow, and we're going to talk tomorrow about the cost of my shoulder surgery because I got the bills on Friday. And you're going to find out how screwed up this whole idea of for-profit healthcare is going on. Hey, we got a question. At what point is it no longer okay to abort that collection of cells, David? 13 weeks, 26 weeks, 30 weeks, 38 weeks? Very simple question for you. Well, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. But I would say that at this point, anything that we've yet to see, even with the great advances in science, I don't think we've had any birth of anything survive human under 22 weeks, I think it is, but I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. They have to be viable. They have to be a fully formed, living, breathing thing to be a baby. Up until that point, it's not a baby. If I was holding a 1-year-old baby here, and I was going to drop it off the top of the building, and I was holding a collection of cells in the other, which would you rush out to catch? Don't tell me you go after saving the cells, because the cells can't survive on their own. The baby can. These advances in science that make it possible are very, very expensive. And since we don't pay for health care, the millions of dollars of neonatal, for preemies, I don't think we have any right to tell somebody they have to take care of that baby that's born prematurely. I also don't think that banning abortion outright, which also includes necessary medical procedures to save the life of the mother, to stop from having harm, cases of rape or incest. You've got to be kidding me if you were going to tell me that a 10-year-old girl should have to bear her father's child because she was raped. This country allows some pretty sick stuff, and it's got to stop. So that's my answer, Mark. And it's not up to you. It's not up to me. It's up to the mother. Because ultimately, the mother is responsible for that baby. Unless you want to have a thing where we start doing DNA tests and the father is held just as liable for raising the child and mandatory child support and everything else. Because I haven't heard anybody stepping forward for that either yet. Men can birth lots of babies and not take any responsibility. Yet somehow they think they can take responsibility over women's bodies. And as to I-70 saying that's misinfo, I don't know what misinfo you're talking about. But no, babies can exist outside their mother's womb at 12 weeks or 14 weeks, or as far as I know, outside of 20, I think it's 20 or 22 weeks. But what? 22. 22 is the right number, but thank you. Anyway, I'm glad I've got the haters watching instead of other people. And I-70, your response, keep your legs closed, problem solved, is really, really reprehensible. I hope you enjoy going to prison sometime and try to keep your butthole sealed, because the soap's going to drop one day and you're going to get it. All right? You deserve it. You have it coming to you. And yeah, I'm okay with that. Women have a right to decide what to do with their bodies. And I'm going to stick that. And no, Mark, fathers do not have mandatory support. And they have no say in whether or not there's an abortion. Okay, let's put it in writing then. Okay, thank you very much. But 22 weeks, yes, thank you for answering that. I'm glad at least we're having some response here. But try that with Mike Turner. Go have a chat with him. Go talk to him. That's what I'm asking you. We'll be here again tomorrow at 4. Hope you both plug in and the others too. I'm David Esrati. I'm running for Congress because I want to represent you, not corporate special interests, not the military-industrial complex. I want to make sure you have a voice in Congress, and every day in Congress, at the end of the day, I will let you know what I did in Congress and answer your questions live. Thank you very much. I'm David Esrati. I want to be your congressman. electesrati.com. And if you'd like to donate, feel free. electesrati.com/donate. See you tomorrow at 4. Thanks.